Okay, so today I have learned a very important lesson about expectations. And what do I mean by expectations? Oftentimes we take offense and we with people because we believe they should know better. We believe they should do better. We believe that based on what they know, because they are mature, they're old, they're spiritual, they're educated, they're literate, whatever the circumstances or whatever it is that we judge them by, we believe that because of XYZ they should know better. And so we take offense when they do not meet up to our expectation. They don't do as we expect them to based on the criteria by which we have assessed them. And I suddenly realized today that it's people don't always meet our expectations. Because oftentimes we can look at someone and we in our minds can judge the person as mature or judge the person as literate or judge the person as spiritual or whatever criteria. And actually the person may not fit into that box that we have put them in. Take for example, I use the example of if we meet someone, a full-grown, good-looking man, and we expect that that person is sensible, responsible, all those lovely words we like to look at, tall, dark, handsome, whatever it is. And then the person starts gargling like a baby, or the person wets themselves. And then you suddenly start to think what you expected. You expected someone who would talk in a suave or whatever manner. But the person is gargling like a baby? How can they do that? But that's how it is when when our expectations come in contact with the reality. Because when people do things that we do not expect of them, we take offense because we assume that, why would you do this to me? But actually, when we look at it, none of us will take offense with a child, with a baby that kicks us in the shin or that pulls our hair or that tells you to shut up or say whatever. Well, you might take offense, but not in that manner, not to that same extent. And I suddenly realized that our expectations are so important. How do we view people? What is in our minds, what box have we put people in? How have we judged people to be? One of the things that God reminded me of is that every single person is human, and each one of us have our own human frailties, and don't expect too much of people. So it's two ways. Me that I have the expectation, and also you that are portraying or putting out an aura because you want people to expect or think you are certain something or the other. It's both sides need to understand that expectations need to be managed. When I look at people and when they do not behave the way I expect them to, I need to look at it in terms of this person, well, is have I expected too much? Do I believe them to be what they're not? Have they come across to me? Have I been so gullible to believe that this person is much more than they are? And that's important because until I start to reassess my expectations, and I may not be able to convince the person and let the person know, well, this is what you did that was wrong. But if within myself, I look at my own expectations and say, how have I looked at this person? Have I looked at this person and assumed this person is a full-grown man? Well, in fact, this person is just in diapers. Or have I looked at this person and assumed this person should be is literate or is spiritual, and in fact the person is not, because the outside may look a certain way, but actually Jesus even say it's written there that it's by your fruits that you know them. So it's not really by the container, but we're so used to looking at the externals, the containers, the packaging, the way things appear, that we don't actually dig deep and find out what fruit. So it's actually the fruit. So it's only in interaction with people that you know whether they're adults or children. They may look like the adult. My son, for instance, is the size of an adult. He's wearing adult clothes. However, he's still not mature enough. And that's the way we look at people, because there are a lot of people that are adult-sized, but actually they're not adults. And there's nothing wrong with that, because we're all growing and we're all work in progress. But it's what expectation do we place on people? Do we look at people and do we judge them well? We're not meant to judge, but do we assess them the way they are? Do we look at them and because of their fruit, we look at them based on their fruit, we relate to them? We don't put expectations, unnecessary expectations on them. And also for us, do we look at how we come across to people? Because a lot of people's expectations can be dashed because they look at us and they think, oh, this person is so lovely, is so this. And yet, when you now show your color, they realize that actually you're not as lovely or as XYZ as they thought you should be. It's something to think about. And when you don't meet up to expectations, it's important that you're able to say, you know what, I'm sorry, because we're all human. It's also that willingness for us to look at ourselves and say, actually, I can do better. And it's also that willingness for you to look at the other person and say, actually, I can believe better. Have a good day, everybody. Bye.